Boy am I late jumping on this. So Super Smash Bros. Ultimate has been out for almost a month, and with Joker revealed as the first of the 5 upcoming characters for the DLC pass, something to this day that I still can't believe is happening. I've been thinking about what characters I would personally like to see the roster and battle out as a combatant of the Smash Bros. Universe. What character would give me the same level of excitement to wake everyone up at 4 o'clock in the morning, screaming my head off amongst the hype of the reveal? Who would compel me to go down to a tournament or to the store, perhaps, cosplaying as them in anticipation as Joker did? So after hours upon hours of thinking it through, who would I like, what movesets would work, I came to the realization that too many of the characters I actually wanted were third party. Normally this would be okay, but I don't really want to put out a list of mainly 4 third-party characters and maybe 1 Nintendo character. So I decided that for today's video I would separate it up into 3 categories: Nintendo-owned property, third-party, and Ekko fighters, because there's definitely isn't enough of those, but I'll explain later on in the video. Before I do jump into this though, I think I should set a few rules first, just so there's no confusion. Firstly, although I'll be reading each character off individually, this is not a countdown video. This is simply to show the top 5 from each subject that I would like in the game. Secondly though, for the most part I've tried to keep the games that I personally know and characters that I know. I have selected a few choices of characters from games that I haven't played, so I don't know them as well. To be completely honest, I just want there to be an excuse for me to play their game, and I think getting them into Smash Brothers would absolutely do that. When considering characters, I have decided to ignore the so-called rules about spirits and assist trophies not being able to be fighters. I mean, we've seen Sakurai break these rules before, so I want to do me, and I think with Smash Ultimate, it's all fair game, personally. Also, I'm well aware that at the moment on the internet there are leaks going around pointing to characters such as main character from Dragon Quest, but to be absolutely honest, I don't care. I want to do my list. Lastly, I might as well stress that yes, this list is biased. Each character here is based on my personal preference rather than the general voice. I'm sorry, Waluigi, I just prefer you as a meme, and I feel that getting you into Smash Bros. Will ruin you getting that status, just like it has for Ridley. Okay, with that out of the way, let's jump in. So I'm just going to start with this to get it out of the way. I would like to see a new Fire Emblem. Yes, I know, there's too many characters, I know I'm crazy, I know that's Wii fan service, please, look. I agree with you, but hear me out here. The overrepresentation of Fire Emblem isn't the true problem that the franchise has in Ultimate. The big issue is the amount of sword users. What I propose is a non-sword Fire Emblem representative. And I mean purely no sword. Unlike Robin, who almost fit the bill until they gave him the Legend of the Bronze Sword. In their own games, the weapon triangle is a vital part of the Fire Emblem combat system, and it is so upsetting to see it unrepresented in Smash Bros. Itself. And with the lifespan that Fire Emblem has had, there are many characters that Nintendo could pull from. Personally, I would like to see Fate's Azura or a Heroes rep such as Sharina or Ana enter the ring. We know for a fact that Nintendo is acknowledging the mobile game as part of its music does currently exist in Ultimate. Granted, it's not the best one out there. However, if Nintendo wants to please an audience, they could give us Hector. He's already proven himself on multiple occasions to be a fan favourite. But if Nintendo and themselves, the deciders, want to take the easy route, they also have a new Fire Emblem game coming in Three Houses, one that I'm really excited for. I'll be all up for a Three Houses rep in the game. Like, I would love to get to know the characters before they come out, but please Nintendo, just no more swords. I'm all sorted out. The second slot of Nintendo characters on my list here is another technicality where I couldn't decide on one exactly. I just really want the series to get more representation. I would like to see a new Kid Icarus representative. Although the controls of Uprising were rather awkward, it never failed to be an enjoyable experience for me. The interaction between characters never ceased to make the gameplay bearable. I would constantly ignore the pain in my thumbs just to get to the next bit of chatter, the next joke, or a third wall break. things that made the game stand out as a more comical sense of adventure, and that is why I'd like to see another representative join the roster. I know that we already have 3 characters from the franchise on the roster, but seeing as that's main character, clone of main character, and Palutena, I think there's definitely room for improvement. I've seen arguments for both Medusa or Viridi as an Ekko for Palutena, but I feel that both characters could have a moveset that is unique enough to warrant their own characters. Medusa using some sort of darkness magic, maybe up to Petrify in a similar way to Mewtwo's Disable, or Viridi having more plant-based attacks. Magnus is another contender, however, in the end he would just be your typical heavy character, lugging around a hard-hitting sword that he would just swing around. Nothing too special really if you ask me. So I'd like to take this chance to pull out a wild card and suggest either adding Hades or Pandora, more accurately the Amazoness Pandora. Both of these characters play important roles in Uprising, with Pandora being a reoccurring boss and Hades being the true antagonist. Both characters are loose cannons that could fit as a joke-branded character to the franchise, while also adding another great guidance to the temple stage. Why wouldn't you want more Hades? Hades would be a large, heavy character using magic-based attacks and swipes, possibly commanding his army of darkness to attack for him, whereas Pandora would be a quick and tricky character, planting traps, playing tricks, all to the misfortune of their opponents. Though Pandora wouldn't be as exciting as Hades, both characters are ones that I came away from my first Uprising playthrough remembering fondly. And since we aren't getting a new Kid Icarus for Switch, it's the least they could do. I would have argued Phosphora too, but I kinda like her as an assist trophy. Like Tiki, it feels somewhat wholesome to summon them to assist in battle. If it isn't clear from my first 2 choices, I really love the adventure games that Nintendo do. Putting you in the shoes of a brave hero on the way to save the world, slaughtering evil that stands in your path. But you know what else I like? Cute robot girls. Be it Persona's Aegis or Labris, or Tekken's Alyssa Boskanovich, the metallic beauties in games commonly become instant favourites of mine, sharing 2 parts gracious with 3 parts powerful. And for a while, Nintendo didn't really have any of these. And then came Planet Robobot. I've seen a lot of support for Bandana D, but honestly, out of all the Kirby characters, I'd personally like to see Susie rise to the challenge. She may not be a reoccurring character, only appearing in Robobot, recently in Star Allies, and perhaps as a shadow boss in a few games in between, but I feel her unique design and personality could make her a staple character for future Kirby games if they go down a Mario Party route, or maybe give us a new Air Rider game. But let's not forget her gameplay here. She plays as what I would like to think is a bit like Diva from Overwatch. Heck, she could even have a skin referencing the Korean gamer. Though she was only a boss in Planet Robobot driving a mech, Star Allies gave us an out-of-suit experience with her where she utilises a blaster, a dash with a propeller from her back, and an ability to call in the previously mentioned mech and wreak havoc. Whether Nintendo would implement both of these to the character or perhaps just use her mech as part of her final Smash would be up to them. But Star Allies has given us a Susie with an overflowing Smash Brothers potential, and I would absolutely love to see how Nintendo could use this to their advantage. The Legend of Zelda franchise seems to have an issue in its representation within Smash Ultimate, with a majority of the characters being included being different incarnations of Link, yet at the same time managing to not include Conductor Link from Spirit Tracks. I don't see why we can't fit in another character. Originally for this position I was thinking Lana from Hyrule Warriors or Midna from Twilight Princess, but ultimately I decided on Impa, more precisely her Hyrule Warriors design. Impa is a character that is recurring in most Legend of Zelda games, however hardly sees the field of battle, except for in Warriors, where she is up front and centre as a playable character. This is where her moveset could originate from. In a similar vein to Greninja, she could use water as a weapon, while also swinging around her giant sword. I could personally see some aspects of Cloud or Zelda working in her moveset. Alternatively, they could give her some fire moves using her Nagitamas, or reserve the elemental moves for her specials, echoing the specials of Sheik in Hyrule Warriors. I personally chose the Hyrule Warriors design, although I do really like her Skyward Sword design, because I feel that it's the most aesthetically pleasing among the existing cast as it is, and straight down to the eye tattoo just screams what she's about. I know that back on the Wii U there was a mod to put her in, but I'm just hoping Nintendo takes it a step further and gives the Hylians a bit of leadership. Now let's see, for my last spot for Nintendo. Bowsette, she's cute, case closed, there you go. No, I'm clearly kidding. She was long deconfirmed by Nintendo themselves. Strange move considering how much bustle she generated. He generated? Complicated subject. Anyway, I couldn't actually think of a 5th series with a particular character that I wanted. I thought upon it, and it dawned on me. The reason why I couldn't think of a character for my 5th slot is because their game hasn't even been revealed to us yet. Nintendo has a way of pushing out characters to build excitement for upcoming games. I mean, just look at Corrin. If it wasn't for his inclusion in Smash, I would have probably not played Fates, nor become the Fire Emblem fan that I am now. With a wide future and endless opportunities ahead of them, I feel like Nintendo could easily put a new franchise into Smash. As long as it's fun and fair, something that I know they struggle with, I'll be all for a newer, never-heard-before character. Part of me really wanted to put Rex here, but I think at this point Sakurai's completely deconfirmed him. Starting off the third-party characters that I would like to see, let's go with the obvious. Sora from Kingdom Hearts. Those that have been with me for around a year now know that I got into the Kingdom Hearts franchise amidst all the excitement for the 3rd game, wanting to play all the games prior. And of what I've played, I've had an absolute joyous time. Sora would make an interesting character to say the least, sporting both the Final Fantasy style magic and of course his Keyblade that could really diversify him from Robin. Now for moveset, I know a lot of people will look at Smash Flash too, and I don't blame them. The moveset that he was provided to in that Flash game is very fun, very fluent, and makes him incredibly unique among all the other cast. Honestly, thinking back on it, it just makes me want him in even more. Though I know Disney's ownership is a common argument against Sora, in this day and age with SEGA, Namco, Capcom, Square, and now even Atlus jumping on the Smash hype train, it's starting to look like a deal that Disney's missing out on, and I don't really give it long until they crack the Nintendo overlords. I'd understand if they refused to put Donald and Goofy in as the final Smash, but Sora is one of those characters that I was surprised didn't get announced with the initial game. And with a roaring fandom currently going mad for Kingdom Hearts 3, I think this would be one of the perfect time for Disney to unlock that door and let Nintendo into the beloved franchise. Talking of Disney, does anyone here remember Spectrobes? No? Just me? Ooh, this is gonna be awkward then. Though a game that's been long forgotten by time, I would like to see Rollin or Gina from the Spectrobes series included. Pre-Okami, Spectrobes was one of my favourite game series growing up, even more so than Pokemon. However, after its 3rd game, it fell off the radar and was never seen again, which is nothing short of a tragedy. For those in my audience who haven't played it, I'll try and sum it up. Basically, you play as one of 2 space law enforcers who can summon these creatures known as Spectrobes from a crystal on their wrists. The game has you go around excavating fossils and minerals, which are then used to level up and evolve your Spectrobes into more powerful versions. All of this with the end goal of defeating an invading alien race. However, like with Pokemon, there are a huge amount of Spectrobes in the game. Therefore, rather than focus on having Spectrobes in the moveset, Rollin or Gina could be built completely off their melee abilities. They would be able to attack using their blaster, sword, or glove attachments from the primary game. However, with Origins expanding the weapon system to include lances and hammers, these could also be incorporated. Perhaps they could even call in their Spectrobe as part of their final Smash, or the team could go a step further and have Rollin or Gina summon a Geo, a powerful god in the universe. To be completely honest, this suggestion is the most out there of all on my lists, but it's more just the case that I really want Spectrobes to return in one form or another. A remaster would be amazing, just anything. There's a lot of opportunity I feel Disney missed. Simply put, these characters could have been in Infinity with a very simple moveset, but Disney did not deliver. So, Smash, you're my next hope. Shantae. Yeah, so I haven't actually played any of her franchise, and in fact, during the ballot, she was one of the characters that I would roll my eyes out, seeing she would never have a chance. But after both watching speedruns and playing some battles in Smash Crusade with her, I can comfortably say that I've been converted to the Shantae squad. Though her inclusion as a spirit is nice, this is another character that I feel Nintendo could pull forward. I would be happy with her as a Wandering Sis trophy like her indie counterpart of Shovel Knight, but with her long history with Nintendo, I can easily see her appearing as a separate character utilizing moves from the various items she acquires across her games, and using her transformations in order to deal heavy damage or combo into some really nice chains. And you know how Persona music in Smash is a big thing? Now imagine Shantae music in there as well. If only one indie character was allowed into Smash Bros, I would personally want her. Shovel Knight wouldn't be bad, but I think after appearing in 2 other fighting games, it's about time he sat one out and allowed some other indie character to have the spotlight. So we have Rathalos, okay, and a Monster Hunter boss map, okay. Where's the Hunter? Monster Hunter could bring a lot to the table at the Smash Feast, with a wide variety of armors, weapons, traps, and possibility. As a franchise, it's seen a lot of success on Nintendo consoles of late, and to have so much Monster Hunter stuff within Ultimate as is, but no actual Hunter? Something about that feels really off. Honestly, at this point, I'd even accept a Palico to represent the franchise. Either of these two would be a nice nod to the Monster Hunter series outside of the assist trophies, World of Light, or arcade mode. When trying to consider a moveset for the Hunter, my mind's kind of split between Link's playstyle and the playstyle seen for the Monster Hunter in the Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite game. In Infinite, the Hunter swaps between weapons dependent on the move, with things such as a chargeable club, chargeable bow, that do altering effects and higher damage the longer it's charged. However, if Nintendo was to perhaps take this whole mechanic a bit further, we could have Monster Hunter with a sharpness or stamina mechanic, where their moves will gradually get weaker until they either restore their stamina or sharpen their weapons. With a wide variety of armors to pick from even the latest game Monster Hunter Worlds, there's no lack of skins that the Monster Hunter would be able to use, as well as weapons. Looking at the current state of Smash, the Monster Hunter is definitely something that is missing, especially with the Isabelle glitch going on at the moment. Finally on my list of third-party characters that I would like to see put into Smash is the one that I've been dying to put into this video. Anyone who knows me personally is absolutely aware of how desperate and happy I would be if this character was to be put in. Now, I know Capcom has already got 2 reps with Ken and Ryu in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, but I think we can go another. So why don't we go ahead and drop Amaterasu. For those who aren't aware by now, Okami is a game that I personally hold absolutely dearly. It was a game that was shown to me by a very good friend and quickly became one of my favourite all-time games. As such, with Okami HD releasing to the Switch last year, I see no reason why they can't put Amaterasu in. First and foremost, considering Amaterasu, is the ink brush style that Okami is made of. I feel that Nintendo would have a field trip day replicating this technique and presenting it to Super Smash Bros. For her moveset, she would likely have something inspired again by the Marvel vs. Capcom games, utilizing the weapon switching mechanic and the celestial brushstrokes found in her original game. Her roulette wheel of weaponry would be set with her reflector being a medium range medium damage, her rosary being a far range weak damage, and her glaive being a close heavy hitting weapon. With Amaterasu, they may want to implement what I suggested for Monster Hunter, being a limit system, where using certain attacks depletes a resource bar that then makes the character weaker once depleted. This would replicate the ink mechanic found in the original Okami games. Another big factor behind wanting Amaterasu in the game is seeing what the Super Smash Bros. Music team would do with the music. The music in Okami is very traditional to Asian countries, and I would absolutely love to see what Nintendo could do to spice things up. Amaterasu was a character I voted for in the ballot, but I knew at the time she had no chance. But now seeing characters that I would have thought never had a chance gives me a slight glimmer of hope that the sun can shine through the clouds. Hopefully, Amaterasu will bless us soon. Ekko Fighters were an intuitive way of adding new characters to the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate roster, while not risking them being too close to another existing character. However, there are certain characters that I feel should have been in the game as Ekkos from the start. For this reason, I wanted to add speculation on Ekko characters, and personally hope that we maybe get a form of DLC pass that's cheaper and just consists of Ekko Fighters in the future. Though this kind of course of action would be highly unlikely for Nintendo, it's a bit of a nice thought that certain characters that don't really have a chance because of similarity could still have this form of chance, and the decreased price would make up from being existing asset characters. My prime example for this would be adding Brittany and Charlie over Olimar and Alf. We already have Alf over Olimar, but not as an Ekko fighter. We have Brittany and Charlie coloured skins for Alf, but not the characters themselves. Why they never did this has always baffled me, when all they would need to do to achieve this is to swap the character's model. Though these would not be characters I would personally play myself, I feel like it would be a nice gesture towards the fans of the Pikmin franchise. In the same vein of Ekkos as the Pikmin characters, Dixie Kong is another character that I would love to see, though I would probably not play them or their franchise. All that I know is that it should make another great and welcomed addition to the Donkey Kong series in Ultimate, as well as be a echo of Diddy that is able to use her ponytail in her attacks, and most likely as her recovery. From the concepts that other YouTubers have come up with, she sounds like she should be very fun and enjoyable, perfect for a game like Smash. Now going back to Ekkos that I can actually talk about more confidently. You know who I wish I'd seen as a skin, but now could technically be an Ekko? Octolings. So the Octolings are obviously biogenetic counterparts to the Inklings, and it's such a surprise that they weren't presented, especially with the succession of the Octoling expansion in Splatoon 2. Obviously an Octoling and Inkling would play very similarly in their base game as well as within Smash, but to differentiate them, Nintendo could perhaps maybe give them separate types of weaponry. Perhaps equip a different type of blaster to the Octoling, a different type of splat bomb, one that goes off on contact. Perhaps focus more on the special equipment used singularly in the Octoling expansion, such as the ball or the jetpack. There's no shortage of weapons available in Splatoon 2, and I would love to see the Octoling highlight some of the other ones that the Inkling wasn't able to use. Once again, prying open the box of the Legend of Zelda franchise within Smash Ultimate, another character that I would like to see as an Ekko would be Ravi Oh. Ravi Oh is a character who appears in A Link Between Worlds and hasn't really appeared since. Ravi Oh could easily be an Ekko fighter for young Link, now brandishing weapons based on those that he sells within his store in the game. From the hammer, to the bow, to even the sand rod. Ravi Oh could utilize multiple items that have created a legacy in the Legend of Zelda franchise, while all remaining to be a semi-unique character. His little partner, which I believe is a bird, could even come in and assist in one form or another, taking something off the opponent or being used as a tether grab to hold the enemy in place while he attacks. Simply put, whereas Hilda from the same game is easily rememberable, Ravi Oh seems to be forgettable. I think adding this character into Smash as an Ekko fighter would help boost recognition of the character to his female counterpart, and just overall add yet another character with unique layers. So last in my list is the one that everyone expects, a Sonic Ekko. However, unlike everyone else, I don't personally want Shadow in the game. I feel like Shadow would be reserved for his own character. So as a Ekko to Sonic, I would like to see Metal Sonic. Metal Sonic is the definition of a clone of Sonic, and such would have a very similar playstyle, albeit with maybe being slower, but hitting harder, or just having more resistance. It would also add another nice level of rivalry to the game between characters that exist within the roster. However, as a stretch, I could technically say that I could see Silver, and wouldn't mind having Silver as an Ekko for Sonic. But when comparing the two, I can more easily see Metal Sonic having the better chance. I mean, even Project M has a version of Metal Sonic, and it looks amazing from what I've seen. I've never played Project M myself, but I have watched it, and all in all, it's this kind of stuff from fan games that makes me believe these characters will work. So with that, that's been my list of 5 Nintendo, 5 third-party, and 5 Ekko fighters I would like to see in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Would I be happy if any of them get in?
Yes.
Do I think any of them are going to get in?
No.
No matter what happens though, all in all, it's been amazing to make this video. It's been really fun. It took a lot of time and a lot of effort compared to what I usually do. And I hope you guys have been able to enjoy it because of such. For now, all we can do is sit back and wait and see what Nintendo reveals. But until next time, guys, Crows Feet, signing out.